Good morning. Here is your objective for the day is that you are going to be able to build a basic slope. You will be able to build a basic slope intercept equations when given a real world situation. If yours doesn't look exactly like this is fine. This should look the same though. So we're going to be dealing with word problems and turning word problems into our slope-intercept equations. So Sabrina wants to buy a CD player. Obviously this was made like years and years ago when people still bought CD players, but you can adjust. She has $2. She decides to save $3 from her allowance every week. Complete the table and graph Sabrina's savings during 10 weeks. So the first thing that we need to identify is what is the slope. Oh, you can't see that. What is the slope? And then what is the y-intercept? So our slope, another word for slope is rate of change. So how quickly are things changing? We're looking for something that's a per or something that's each. Something that's going to grow every single time. So in this case, the slope is $3 because she gets $3 every week. What part of the word problem gives you the slope? The each or the per week. What is the y-intercept? And I realize it says to do the table first. You can do the table first if you want, but I'm going to go back to it. What is the y-intercept? Your y-intercept is your starting point. What you start with, what you have at x equals 0. So when weeks are 0, how much money does she have? She has $2. So what she starts with. Sorry about that. The y-intercept is 2 because it's what she starts with. Okay. So now we're going to build our equation. Our equation is y equals mx plus b. Our m is $3 and our b is $2. So we can just plug it in. Y equals 3x plus 2. In our graph, the x-axis is going to represent, we can just look at our table here. So our table, is it really dark? It's a little dark, there we go. Our table, says number of weeks is x. So our x is going to be the number of weeks. And the y-axis is going to represent the amount of money or her savings. Okay, that's down here. So now we're going to use this information to make a table and a graph. So we are supposed to go to 10 weeks. So after 0 weeks, she has her $2. So this is our starting point or our y-intercept. And I can put that point here, 0, 2. Every week she's going to add $3. That's my slope. So I have 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 32. And just to confirm, let's make sure that our equation works. If I plug in 10, am I going to get 32? If I plug in 10 right here, y equals 3 times 10 plus 2. I get y equals 30 plus 2, which is 32. So my equation works for my situation. Now, I don't need to put all of these on the graph. Maybe like just 3 or 4 or however many will fit. I can either just plot them, 1, 5, 1, 5, 2, 8. Or I can use my slope. My slope is 3. So every time I go over 1, I'm going to go up 3. So over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3. And that's a good enough amount to make a graph, and I'm going to draw my arrow going up. If you needed to fit all of these points on the graph, we could count by We could count by 2's going up, and that would give us more room, but in this case it's not necessary. So remember, we are first identifying our slope, which is the rate of change, how much it's growing, and the y-intercept, which is our starting point. If we can identify those two things in a word problem, you can build an equation, and you're good to go.